Okay, week in review, January 29th, 2024. Before I get into comments, a couple little updates on olive oil. So I will have a new batch of olive oil in the next few weeks that I will post back on the TDC Mercantile site to purchase. And this time, so I only sold 250 milliliter tins before, but now I will also have a 500 milliliter option of organic, California-based extra virgin olive oil. And I have a new product that I'm going to put on the Mercantile site soon that I'm really excited about. Super limited quantity, but I think people will be really interested in it. Or I hope people will be really interested in it. I'm interested in it. All right, let me jump into comments. At Laura Pre Roast 4671. Hey Dave, my husband and I love watching old CrossFit games. We always say the old school CrossFit events were so much fun to watch and super relatable, which makes it even more fun. Do you ever think that you and Boz will bring any of the old games events back but change the weights and make it up to par with the athletes now? I know you guys have redone some here and there, but it would be so cool to see one event from each year of each games come back to see how athletes do with them now. Love your videos. Thanks for all the good content. Thanks. So, yeah, even when you look at Helena from last year, we had done in the past, we did the triple Helen. So, different. I guess that's not exactly what you're saying. It's a similar benchmark with the twist. But over the years, we have dabbled with pulling some forward and adjusting weights. And some we've even done exactly the same. You look at the first ever CrossFit Games workout, the row and then pull up and push jerk workout. We did that several years later at the games, exactly the same way. And like the fastest time, the second time we did it, or I should say the slowest time, was almost faster than the fastest time the first year we did it. And then at the 2020 games, we took that same workout and adjusted it, made it heavier, made it more appropriate for the athletes here at the ranch. So we do play with stuff like that, and we will continue to look at other workouts that are worth pulling forward. And actually, when we pull them forward as a retest or to be doing the games, I think more often than not, I would lean towards not modifying them or making them harder. I would lean towards keeping them the same, so we actually have a good apple to apples comparison instead of increasing the weight or making them harder. Because oftentimes that's what people do when they look back at old workouts, especially with really good athletes. They just increase the weights, and then you're ironically potentially lowering the intensity because you're potentially slowing the overall effort down. So yes, to your question, but considering keeping them the same, considering modifying them a little, there's a lot of thought that goes into how it actually shows up on the competition floor. At Coach Steve WB, I'm a CrossFit Level 2 coach currently living and working in the Philippines. The CrossFit community here is huge, but this is not represented in the number of affiliated gyms. The cost of affiliation should be scaled based on the economic situations in each region and country. This could take into consideration the average membership fees, average income levels, and ultimately the percentage of affiliation costs in the gym's overall revenue. We are missing an opportunity to continue to grow the brand and the sport by limiting affiliation to the wealthy elite in developing nations such as the Philippines. Well, I don't have a good understanding of what, other than what you just said. I don't have awareness to where the gyms are, how much they charge, etc. Understanding on our side, the affiliate team, and with these changes recently, there are different levels to the affiliate fee for different countries. I don't know the answer to what it is in the Philippines, but you can definitely email the affiliate team and they will give you all the information on what it is there. And so what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is they are taking into consideration some of the realities of the localities for the affiliation fee. At Jamie_Weston, would CrossFit HQ be interested in doing a Killing the Fat Man UK edition? 41 years old and 330 pounds, ready to get to work with the aim of smashing the 2025 Open. I love your attitude. I love your drive. I would definitely not reignite the Killing the Fat Man franchise ever, independent of Sevon. Meaning, we're not gonna hijack that and take that. He and Gary Roberts really led that. So will CrossFit re-stand that up? No, I believe it wouldn't be right to him. If he gave us permission, maybe. I think he should do it. So he does a little review of these weekend reviews. So Sevon, if you're listening, why don't you contact this guy and talk to him about a potential Killing the Fat Man UK edition? But anyways, Jamie, super excited to have you in the Open. Very cool that you are approaching it with such a positive attitude and ready to get to work. At CHRCAM Pagna, at Chris Campagna, I think that's what it is. Seems like all of the semifinal events ought to have community competitions as well, like the Granite Games did up until 2022. Has that been discussed or considered? With the way we're running them now this year, they have the option to if they want to. So what I mean by the way we're running them now, like independently owned and operated, they can run community events if they want to. I don't know which ones are and which ones are not, but they can if they choose to. At OWSINT7972, Dave, come on, it's time. Tell me the functional carryover for a freaking pistol squat beyond what an air squat can achieve. So here's the deal with the pistol. The strength it does develop, obviously in the single leg application, the balance that is necessary there in performing that move, the coordination is incredible and really often not mentioned with this movement, but the flexibility requirements to perform a pistol squat a pistol squat in competition or in training. All of those factors are why the pistol is an incredibly valuable training tool to help with all your functional movements. And as I have said before, not all functional movements fit. One of our describing characteristics is that they're found in nature. That's a describing characteristic. It's not I call it a law. But so not all of them are perfectly found in nature. That being said, there are times when getting up from a single leg position, especially if your right leg is forward, can simulate what's happening in a squat. But the demands on flexibility, coordination, balance, strength, all of those are a significant reason why it has a place in the CrossFit methodology. And if you take a look at what our defining definition of functional movements are, movements that are able to move a large load long distance quickly, it hits that parameter very well. Meaning you can rep out squats, single leg squats quickly, and that then you're moving a large load, your entire body, a long range of motion from arguably lower than even how far we squat to a full standing position. So it hits those parameters appropriately. So the pistol squat does have a place in the methodology for the reasons I just stated above. Also, this weekend, went to a little course we're testing. We're currently internally calling it the 1.5, and it's like a level 2. It's a single day course, but only with the breakouts. So small number of people, 7 to 14 people sign up in theory. They go to a single day of several hours, not as long as a level 2 day or a level 1 day, but call it from 9 to 2 or 3. And all they do is training drills. So it's like what you see in the level 2, but not the full commitment, 2-day commitment of level 2. So anyway, so we're testing that out. We did one this weekend at West Pyatt's gym, Coast Range CrossFit, and Bill Grundler was there, and we were chatting, and he's really big into bow and arrow shooting now, recurve shooting. So recurve bow is just like what you'd imagine Robin Hood shoots, and a compound bow is the really complex bows that you see people like Joe Rogan shooting, and it has mechanical advantage on the pool, so it's in theory a little easier to shoot. whatever. He's that wasn't the point. He's shooting a lot of arrows, shooting with a recurve bow, and he was talking about the accuracy that he's training through that. And he's actually also doing CrossFit and then shooting arrows. Rich Froning's also getting really big into that. He's been doing a lot of getting his heart rate up and shooting a lot of arrows. And Hepner is also doing that with arrow stuff. Obviously, he does it with the tactical game stuff, getting your heart rate high and then shooting a gun. But these guys are also incorporating bows into that. And so Bill mentioned accuracy and where the accuracy components are found in CrossFit or where they're lacking. I actually think the accuracy we are talking about in the context of CrossFit and the 10 general physical skills is less about that type of accuracy and more about the type of accuracy that's developed in the precision of some of the movements. So, meaning, is there incredible accuracy required in catching a snatch, especially as the weights get higher? With the right movement pattern in the right position. Yes, absolutely. Same thing with a lot of the fast movements. There is an element of accuracy that requires a lot of training, a lot of coordination, a lot of repetition to hit. And so when I see accuracy in the 10 general physical skills, that's where I take it is more in line of this accuracy and execution of these movements and of these skills that is incredibly fundamental to you being successful in these movements or skills. So it was a fun discussion. Bill's a great guy. I've known him for a very long time. Always enjoy hanging out with him and chatting with him. Also at that 1.5, Curtis Bowler, one of our staff, one of our longtime affiliate owners, like one of the first affiliate owners, he was running it, and it's great seeing him coaching. Really solid coach, really knowledgeable trainer, and a wealth of knowledge. At BMC Claflin, have fun at SHOT Shows, still hoping to attend someday. I ended up not going. I had some other stuff, so at the last minute, canceled the trip, and I'm really glad I did. SHOT Show's a mess. I don't enjoy that scene. I go to meet with some friends and some people I work with, but in general I don't enjoy Vegas or that scene, so I'm glad I didn't go to the SHOT Show. At Rambler 5900, Dave, do you know there is scientific evidence women can handle little more volume as in reps in training? No, I don't know that. And then he says, will you adjust program? And I don't know that. And I don't know if I believe that. Will you adjust programming for general population? Second, have you thought about making tweaks to semi and games event WODs? So when you say that, will you adjust programming for general population? And have you thought about making tweaks to semi and games WODs? You're saying that in relation to the first statement, which, do you know there is scientific evidence women can handle a little more volume as in reps in training? I will 100% call out that scientific evidence and say it's probably not repeatable. It's probably not been done on a large scale. And even if it has, it probably can't be replicated with our athletes or the people that we are testing at the CrossFit Games. So the whole science scene and all of these studies, people will see a single study where maybe there was 50, 100 less people who were engaged in the study, and then repeat it as if it's law, which is it's entirely not scientific law at that point, or it's nothing more than a single study that someone did that points to some potential learnings, but until it's proven over and over and replicated, I don't think there's much value in that. And I don't know anything about this study. I am skeptical of most studies I hear about, and especially most of the studies some of these experts are talking about on Instagram and in the fitness world. You see a lot of shit. You see a lot of stuff that really just supports your narrative or your position, and hardly ever look at the other side or look for stuff that does not support your assertion. French Throwdown, I think it's still going on. If it is, sign up. NorCal Classic, their qualifier just ended, and so next is their event in, I think it's in September. So if you can, come check that out. It's they run a great community event. Also, of course, sign up for the Open. The Open, we're in the season. The workouts are going to be really challenging. I'm incredibly excited about them. So love to see you guys sign up and tackle the Open and measure up against your local community in your box, measure up against the community in your area, and measure up against the global community of CrossFit. That's it for the standard week in review. I'm going to dive into a little tangent. If you're not into firearms, you could sign off at this point. If you are, stay on, because I'm going to read some comments. I put up a funny video of from a pistol or from a rifle competition I did this weekend at my ranch here, and I banged the gun all around, and it was really loud and noisy, and it was embarrassing. I laughed about it during the stage. I didn't mean to bang it around. And I took that clip and I put it on my YouTube channel as a, what are they called? A short. So I put it up as a YouTube short, and I called it How Not to Handle a 5,000 plus 22 precision rimfire rifle. And so tons of comments on it. Well, first thing is not even to pick up a 22 in first place. I'm also positive these little taps in that thing. It's a tool, not a priceless gem. That's actually spot on. You could buy an M&P 22. I have one, and 75,000 rounds for 5K. I also have more than 75,000 rounds. I've had people say comp guns are treated like princesses. It's like you've never seen it yet. That's supportive of what's going on. Here's another one. I don't know why you'd spend 5K on 22 LR. It's not going to make you a better shooter. It actually does make me a better shooter. And it's actually a lot of fun. And the diminishing returns quickly negate any reasons to buy it. This guy just doesn't know what he's talking about. Other than he had the money and doesn't give a shit, which I also respect. Well, thank you for respecting that. But I will say this. These guns are incredibly accurate, and they're not your family's 1022 Ruger. So this is a precision rifle, and there's a whole sport and series of events built around this. And then another comment. And there's a lot more than these, but I just read some of them. I cannot even begin to fathom why you drop that much on a 22. The gun is 5K for ammo. That's 5 cents a round. The reason why I wanted to cover this is because I actually made a mistake. So I'm going to go through the cost of this rifle that I said is a $5,000 22. And I had to write everything down. So first of all, we have the chassis. The chassis is by MDT. It's this green piece here. It's where the barreled action fits in. That's $1,300. The trigger, just the trigger here, is by Trigger Tech. It's a diamond. That's $315. The barreled action, so just this barrel and this action of the gun, just that alone, is $1,900. And that's by Voodoo. It's a 360. This little plate that's resting on my hand right there by Gray Ops, that's $85. These Baker wings by MDT, they are $200. The MDT weights on it are a couple $100. Oh, I forgot to add this too. The this level alone, which tells me if the gun is level before I take my shot, that is $230. This Leopold Mark V with the Tremor 3 reticle 7x35 is $2,800. These scope rings are $200. This optic is another $200. I also forgot this card, which is probably $75 to $100, and I forgot this this OBI hookup, which is probably $50. So let's not include the things I forgot. But this gun is actually $7,520 as is. So I said it was a $5,000 gun. It's actually a $7,000 gun. And I fucking love it, and I would buy another one if this one ever didn't work. So for all of you wondering why I would get a gun like that, it's because it's a great tool for the things I like to do. So that's the week in review. As always, post thoughts in the comment section.